atmosphere at Uptown was supposed to be nothing short of magical. Anita Dupree, the undisputed matriarch and music icon of Fairmont Crest, recently received the miraculous news that she is officially cancer-free. To celebrate this massive victory and to create some beautiful, lasting memories with her loved ones, Anita threw a lively and glamorous family party at Uptown. The drinks were flowing, the laughter was echoing, and for a brief fleeting moment, it felt like the Dupree family had finally escaped the dark clouds that have been hovering over them for months. But this is beyond the gates, and we all know that peace is just a temporary illusion before the next massive storm hits. And boy, did the storm arrive in more ways than one. Let's start with the most unexpected and thrilling encounter of the night. Enter Noah Rollins. Yes, Doctor. Kiel Rollins' incredibly handsome and musically gifted son crashed into the Dupree orbit, and the results were absolutely electric. Noah has been struggling to find his footing since arriving in town, broke and desperate for his father's help, but the universe clearly has bigger plans for him. At the party, Noah found himself standing face to face with his absolute idol, the legendary Anita Dupree. Can you imagine the sheer awe he must have felt? Noah has worshipped Anita like a musical deity his entire life. When Kiel introduced his son to the music icon, Anita was genuinely surprised and utterly delighted. She didn't just see a starstruck kid. She looked into Noah's eyes and saw that unmistakable burning fire of a true artist. Anita, with her legendary intuition, immediately recognized the raw talent bubbling just beneath Noah's surface. In a move that proves why she is the absolute queen of this town, she didn't just offer him a polite greeting. No, she put him on the spot and asked him to perform right then and there at the party. Talk about a trial by fire. But here is where the magic truly happened. As Noah took a breath and began to let his musical talents flow, the soulful melody drifted through the lively venue, catching the attention of someone who desperately needed a distraction from her own waking nightmare. Deanna McBride was drawn to the music like a moth to a flame. When she followed the sound and locked eyes with the performer, she was absolutely stunned. And honestly, who could blame her? It was him! Noah Rollins was the exact same mysterious, handsome stranger whose declined credit card she had generously paid for back at Orphe Jeans. What are the odds? The realization hit them both like a ton of bricks. The serendipity of this moment was almost too perfect. As Noah recognized his beautiful savior in the crowd, the entire energy of the room shifted. He didn't just play a song. He used his heartfelt music and raw sincerity to publicly thank Deanna for her kindness. Wow! The romantic tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Sparks were absolutely flying between them, creating an irresistible, swoon-worthy atmosphere right in the middle of the Dupree family gathering. Finally, Deanna is getting a storyline that doesn't involve absolute misery. For months, she has been drowning in grief over the murder of her father, Doug, and suffocating under the weight of her mother, Vanessa's toxic, blinding romance with the ruthless casino boss, Joey Armstrong. Seeing Deanna smile, truly smile, as she connected with Noah was a breath of fresh air. It felt like the beginning of an epic, legacy-making soap opera romance. But hold on, let's be real for a second. This is Fairmont Crest, and nobody gets a happily ever after without walking through fire first. While Deanna was undoubtedly swept off her feet by Noah's undeniable charm and talent, the dark, vengeful gears in her head never stopped. Deanna is currently executing a masterclass in psychological warfare against Joey Armstrong. She knows in her gut that Joey is responsible for her father's death, especially after Doug's ghost, or perhaps her own fractured psyche urged her to take Joey down. As she looked at Noah, a terrifying thought crossed her mind. Could she use this innocent, sweet musician as a pawn in her deadly game against Joey? That's crazy. But from a strategic standpoint, it makes total sense. Deanna knows Joey is watching her every move. He recently ordered his henchman, Randy Parker, to keep tabs on her. If Deanna suddenly flaunts a passionate, consuming new romance with Noah, it could be the perfect distraction. It could lower Joey's defenses and make him believe she is just a lovesick young woman moving on with her life, all while she secretly plots his ultimate destruction. But at what cost? This budding relationship is in severe danger of being tainted by Deanna's dark ulterior motives. She is going to find herself violently torn between her genuine, growing feelings for Noah and her all-consuming need to avenge her father. If Noah finds out he is being used as a smokescreen for a revenge plot against a mobster, it will shatter his heart. I am terrified for Noah, but I am also entirely here for this dark, twisted, romantic dilemma. While Deanna and Noah were caught in their own world of musical romance and hidden agendas, the rest of the Uptown party was about to descend into absolute chaos. Anita's beautiful vision of family bonding shattered into a million pieces the second Chelsea Hamilton walked through the doors. Why? Because Chelsea didn't come alone. She brought Eva Thomas to the family party. Are you kidding me, Chelsea? What on earth were you thinking? Let's break this down, because I have some very strong opinions. Kat Richardson took one look at Eva and absolutely lost her mind. And frankly, I am 100% on Team Kat. Let's not forget the horrific trauma Kat has endured. She literally risked her own life, went under the knife, and donated a piece of her liver to save Eva, a girl who has done nothing but bring misery into her life. Eva slept with Kat's boyfriend, Tomas, and has constantly been a thorn in her side. And how does Chelsea repay Kat's ultimate sacrifice? By parading Ava around at a private Dupree family event. Kat could not contain her outrage, and honestly, she shouldn't have to. Kat furiously accused Eva of intentionally playing the victim, manipulating everyone's pity to infiltrate the Dupree family's inner circle. And you know what? Kat isn't entirely wrong. Eva has a history of leaning into her tragedies to get what she wants, and seeing her cozy up to Chelsea after the whole organ donation livestream debacle was the final straw for Kat. A fiery, explosive screaming match erupted right in the middle of the party. Kat ruthlessly dragged up every single past betrayal, every ounce of pain Eva had caused her, refusing to let the liver transplant erase the history of Eva's toxic behavior. But Chelsea, in her infinite, misguided wisdom, fiercely defended Eva. Chelsea had the absolute nerve to call Kat selfish and lacking in grace post-surgery. Excuse me? Kat gave up an organ, Chelsea. What have you given up? Chelsea argued that Kat was being petty and holding on to grudges when she should be embracing the miracle of life. The rift between the cousins deepened into a massive, jagged chat. The Chelsea Kat brand is supposed to be a partnership, but right now, it looks like a war zone. Chelsea is completely blinded by her new savior complex regarding Eva, and she is entirely dismissing Kat's very valid emotional boundaries. It was a brutal scene to watch, and it completely ruined Anita's hopes for a peaceful evening. Seeing her cousins tear each other apart, Naomi Hawthorne decided to step into the crossfire. Naomi desperately tried to play the mediator, hoping to de-escalate the situation and salvage whatever was left of her grandmother's celebration. Naomi has always been the observant, level-headed cousin, but right now, she is carrying a burden so heavy it threatens to crush her. Naomi is secretly battling the terrifying reality of her BRCA positive diagnosis. She has been agonizing over the prospect of a double mastectomy and the potential removal of her ovary. She is facing her own mortality, worrying about leaving her husband Jacob a widower, especially while he is out risking his life chasing the impaler. Naomi is standing on the precipice of a life-altering medical crisis, and here are Kat and Chelsea screaming at the top of their lungs over a petty social grievance involving Eva Thomas. You could see the absolute exhaustion in Naomi's eyes. How is she supposed to mediate a high school level drama when she is literally fighting for her future? Naomi's patience was wearing dangerously thin. She tried to use logic, she tried to appeal to their love for Anita, but when two people are as fiercely stubborn as Kat and Chelsea, mediation is almost impossible. I honestly think Naomi is going to reach her breaking point. She doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to coddle Chelsea's savior complex or manage Kat's justified rage. If they don't stop bickering, Naomi might just snap and scream her tragic secret at both of them to force some perspective into their privileged lives. So, what happens next? Will Naomi be able to broker a fragile peace between the warring cousins, or will the Dupree family fracture beyond repair? Will Deanna's dangerous game of using Noah as a pawn blow up in her face, destroying the best thing that has happened to her in months? And how will Joey react when he sees Deanna getting cozy with the doctor? The stakes have never been higher in Fairmont Crest, and the emotional fallout from this Uptown party is going to ripple through the town for weeks to come. Keep your eyes peeled, soap fans, because the drama is just getting started.